Hello, it's Brian at California Preparatory College, here to talk with you for a couple of minutes about our applications to the California Board to take the NCLEX-PN exam. The application is completed partially online and partially in paper format. Do not assume that your supervisor knows how to fill out the application forms just because he or she is a nurse. I promise you they do not know how to fill out the forms. What we do is approximately every 10, 12 weeks-ish, if you're attending in-person class, and during second semester an online class, we will have you attend our application seminar. And at the application seminar, we will go over line by line by line and show you exactly how to fill out the application. Then, before you turn it into the board, we will be checking everything for you in order to make sure that you have everything filled out correctly and that you've dotted all your I's and crossed all of your T's. In the application, for every employer that you want credit for towards the 4 years and 3 months of work experience, there are 2 forms that have to be filled out. The first form is actually a letter from Human Resources, and that form has some very basic information. Your contact info, your job title, your dates of employment, the departments that you've worked in, and the total number of hours that you've worked at the facility. The second form is a 3-page form that is filled out by your nurse supervisor or by the DON. And that form has all of your hours broken down by department, and it has information on different skills that you've completed. For example, do you know how to make a bed and personal hygiene techniques? For a complete list of skills that the board is looking for on that form, you can check the frequently asked questions section of the website. So that form, like I said, is filled out and signed by the nurse supervisor. So if you have one employer for the 4 years and 3 months of work experience, then you have 2 forms. If you have 10 employers, you have 20 forms. So it kind of gives you an idea of the number of forms that you'll have to fill out. Now, it's important to also know that the board will only consider work experience that's completed within the last 10 years. And 50% of the experience needs to be completed within the last 5 years. So if you've been a CNA for 20 years, don't think about the first 10, only think about the second 10 years of work experience that you've completed. When you have your forms all filled out before you turn them into the board, as I mentioned before, you'll want to show them to me. Please, please, please make sure that you show me those forms. Look, there's lots of stuff in this universe that I don't know anything about, but I know how to fill out these forms. So please make certain that you show them to me. You don't want to be waiting months to hear back from the board only to find out that you made a simple mistake that we could have fixed. Okay? So please, please, please show me the forms. And if you have worked at a registry, the board will consider that experience as part of your application. However, the forms are done a little bit differently. When you work for a registry, the HR letter that I mentioned a moment ago, that's completed by the registry, and they will list on that letter the facilities that they sent you to. And then the second form that verifies your hours based on department and your skills, that form is filled out by the nurse supervisor at the facility. I know that this feels like a lot of information and that it can be kind of confusing, but don't worry. During the application seminar, we're going to go over this in great detail over several hours, and it'll make much better sense to you. And we will be here each step of the way to guide you through the application process. Paperwork is no fun. It is what it is. It has to be done. We're never going to get our LVN licenses unless we do it. So we just have to get ourselves through that process. And the last thing that I would like to make mention about as we're talking about these application forms is that it's important to understand that one of the worst things that can possibly happen is to have to go back to your supervisor to ask them to fill out the forms again because you had them wrong in the first place. So I encourage you, please make certain to attend the application seminar before you request the forms from your work. You'll want to know exactly what you're asking for. And at the application seminar, we will also teach you how to ask for it. This application process can go one of two ways. It can go smoothly and just be a matter of completing a bunch of paperwork and going through the steps. Or it can be a little bit of a pain. In order to keep it going smoothly, we will be providing you with a very specific ordered list, step by step, that you're going to follow to get through this process from A to Z. If you follow that process in order, then this entire process of the application will be much, much easier for you. When you attend the application seminar, you will get that list. If you have questions about the application process, by all means, please do reach out to us and let us know, and we'll be here to help. Talk with you later. Thanks. Bye now.